Hey, what's up, guys? Today we have the Beyblade Burst Surge Speedstorm Infinite Achilles A6. Infinite Achilles, the coolest beta to ever exist, in my opinion. I love the Takara Tomy version. Can the Hasbro version live up to the expectations that I have for it? Let's go and find out. Alright, first up, let's take a look at the box. So, pretty standard for a Speedstorm packaging, Infinite Achilles, Bursting Spirit Dullahan over there, Beyblade Burst Surge right there, Speedstorm over there, pretty simple. On the back, we get all the parts of this Bey and the stats for it as well. Let's take a look at the parts. So first, for our chip, we have Achilles. For our layer, we have Infinite. For our disc, we have BA2, also known as 1B. And for our performance tip, we have Dimension. For our stats, we have 8 in attack, 3 in burst, 4 in defense, 7 in weight, 3 in agility, and 4 in stamina. Alright, that's it for the box. We also get fused attack power over there, which, looks pretty cool for the most part. That's it for the box, though. Let's go ahead and open this up. So first up, we have our chip, Achilles. Now, honestly, they didn't do a horrible job on the chip, because it does have the red and yellow and the green. It looks pretty accurate for the most part. Not complaining about that. Slopes look fine as well. QR code on the back if you guys want to go ahead and get that in the game. That's pretty much it for the chip, though. Not too, exciting or anything. It's not, extraordinary, definitely. There's really nothing wrong with the chips. We don't really have to talk about this. So that's it for the chip. This was the biggest disappointment for me in this entire Bey. I don't understand, dude. Why would they just fuse it? Look at this. You cannot take the Infinite Sword out. That was really the whole thing of Infinite Achilles. You get to take out that sword, and switch it up with the shield. That was the coolest part in the Takara Tomy version. But here, it's just molded, so we have no choice. We can't switch it or anything. It has to stay in attack mode, which just sucks, man. I really was looking forward to this, and, it kind of let me down. Now, overall, for the paint job, it looks pretty nice. The silver, looks good. Right over here looks nice, but I don't know, man. It would have been really nice if Hasbro gave us that for once. Anime accurate gimmicks. But, hopefully we get this remade into Pro Series. But yeah, it is kind of disappointing if you ask me. Now for our disc, this is probably the one item that I'm not really disappointed with. I mean, it would have been nice if Hasbro, didn't do the Speedstorm thing and just gave us, the regular chassis. But, I still think this is fine. The 1B chassis definitely is nice that we got anime accurate parts at least. That would have been really bad if we got some random disc. But I am happy that we at least got this. It does look pretty accurate for the most part, so no complaints with the 1B disc. Now last but certainly not least, we have another disappointment from this Bey, the driver, Dimension. Now, this is definitely a very disappointing part for me. Because I was really hoping that they do a better job on Infinite Achilles, considering that a lot of the Beys were a bit of a letdown. But yeah, look at this. You can't move it. It's stuck in that position. So yeah, that definitely sucks. Now, it's not a huge deal because we do have a Dimension driver in Hasbro form, so it's not a huge deal, but it would have been really nice if we just had got some anime accurate gimmicks for once, That would have been really nice, but it is what it is. This driver does have some nice springs, as you guys can see, pretty strong. But yeah, definitely would have been nice if we had some anime accurate gimmicks. So here we have a side-by-side comparison of the Hasbro version to the Takara Tomy. Now, here is really the part where there are a lot of inaccurate pieces in this Hasbro version. Now, it's not a huge deal, but just to point it out, let's take a look at each one. Now, first we have our performance tips, Dimension. Now, as you guys can see, this is the Hasbro form, and this is the Takara Tomy. The Takara Tomy is definitely much better if you ask me, because you can, adjust it, you can switch all the modes and all that, you can raise it. So, yeah, you can't really do that with the Speedstorm version, which is kind of disappointing, but, it is what it is. Now, for our chassis, we have this type of chassis disc with the Hasbro form. And with the Takara Tomy, we have a much larger and better version of that Hasbro form. So yeah, the chassis is definitely a lot better. I like it because it adds more weight to the Bey, but we did not get that type of thing with the Hasbro version, which is honestly okay, but you know, like I said, it is what it is. Now to the layer and the chip, you know, it's the same thing right here, right? There are a lot of details missing on the Hasbro form. You know, as you guys can see on the chip right there, there's a lot of like detail. There's no detail there, so yeah. Also, the colors are different for the Infinite Sword. Now, honestly, I like the Hasbro version better on this. You know, I like the darker blue. It looks pretty nice. Now, you know, same design. That part was accurate. Even the red coloring on the layers are kind of different as well. You guys kind of noticed that? Like, this is kind of like more of a glossy red, while this is like a plastic red. It obviously does matter on the material and the paint job as well. So they are kind of like different colors, but that's kind of cool. Now, honestly, I'd have to say that the Takara Tomy version is 10 times better than the Hasbro one, just because you can have all these customizable things, you know. I definitely like that a lot better. You know, I've always been a type of guy that likes the customization and, like, you know, the mode changes and all that. But, you know, it's fine. Hasbro is just like that. You know, Speedstorm, I think, was not the most impressive line of bays from Hasbro, but, you know, like I said, hopefully we get this remade in Pro Series. I'm pretty disappointed in this for the most part, but like I said in many of my Hasbro reviews, it is what it is. You know, nothing really you can do about it. It looks pretty good for the most part. Slopes are kind of loose, you know, but it's fine, honestly. So now let's go ahead and test this Bey out in a couple of battles and see just how good this Bey is. Alright, first up we have Glide Rocktivore. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Wow! Achilles looks really nice while spinning. Not gonna lie. Alright, so I think Glide Rocktivore takes that win. The sword definitely helps its attack. The sword definitely helps it attack, but, you know, I really wish we could have switched that out with, like, a shield or whatever, but, you know, it's fine. You know, it would have been really nice, but overall, I think that it's fine. Honestly, I still like it. It's Infinite Achilles anyway, so, I mean, I had high expectations for this Bey, and it kind of came short, but, you know, for $10, it's not a bad price, you know, for this Bey, which, you know, I think a lot of people don't understand that these Takara Tomy Beys are much more expensive than the Hasbro ones, right? Because, like, when you really think about it, Takara Tomy, they put it in a booster, which is definitely a lot harder to get, whereas Hasbro just gave it for like $10, which is definitely much more cheap, considering that you have to pay a lot of money to get this Takara Tomy version. I had to pay, like, we're not even gonna talk about that. But the Hasbro Infinite Achilles is definitely much cheaper, which is really nice, honestly. So, I mean, if you guys are willing to pick up an Infinite Achilles, I definitely recommend this one. Next up, we got Triumph Dragon. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Wow, what a play from Triumph Dragon right there. Looks like Infinite Achilles' stock combo is not the best. I think you probably could customize this though, to make it much better. I'd start with taking off this performance tip. I do not like this dimension performance tip. It's not going to help you keep balance. As you guys can see, it's kind of like pretty high up, which, you know, does not help its balance. I think if this tip was a little bit lower, then I think it would be a lot better, but, you know. Next up, we have Raid Luinor. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! And Infinite Achilles takes the win, finally. So, you know, has some decent potential. I think the layer and the disc are pretty good. Like I said, though, change that performance tip, it will be 10 times better. For the last battle of today, we have Colossal Helios. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Oh my goodness, huge hits from Infinite Achilles. Wow. That part where, like, Achilles almost knocked out Helios, like, completely, like, out of the stadium, that was insane. And the fact that Colossal Helios was still able to burst it, wow. That was actually a sick battle right there. So, my final thoughts on Infinite Achilles, I'm not too impressed, but, you know, it is what it is, right? Now, the slopes are not bad, but they could have been better. The layer would have been nice if we got like a shield or whatever, you know, like interchangeable type of shield and sword. But, you know, it's not a bad layer for sure. I'd say that the layer is pretty good. The disc is pretty good. The driver is not the greatest. I do not like this driver. The chip is fine. I mean, could have had better slopes. Now, some people have been telling me that the base sucks, and honestly, I don't think it's that bad. It just needs like a little bit of... It just really needs some changes to like the driver, and you know, it had some anime gimmicks. That would have been really nice, considering they did get that with Jet Wyvern, which I will be unboxing very soon. Honestly, this is a pretty nice bay, and like I said, if you really compare the Takara Tomy version versus the Hasbro version, right? Some people don't understand that you have to pay a lot more money for Takara Tomy bays than you do for Hasbro. Like, to buy all these boosters was a very hard thing to do, you know, considering that it costs like so much, like 20 bucks for each booster, and you know, you're not even guaranteed to get Infinite Achilles. It was definitely a tough going to get the Takara Tomy version. Now, honestly, I think it was worth it, considering that this bay is pretty awesome, and I'm a big fan of Infinite Achilles, so it was worth it. But, you know, the Hasbro version is definitely much cheaper, so if you guys are looking for some good parts, I definitely pick this up. You know, the Infinite layer is good, and the 1B disc is pretty good as well. Now, the other two, not that great. The chip is fine, the driver is definitely not good, but, you know, for the most part, this bay is pretty awesome. I think Hasbro can do a lot better in a Pro Series remake, so hopefully that comes out soon. I will definitely be the first one to buy that bay. You know, I did unbox this late, and I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure to try and post more consistently as the year goes on. But that is it for today's video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.